Okay, let's look at some more vocabulary. Adjacent angles. Adjacent means next to, right? So two things are adjacent, they're next to. So we have two angles that are next to each other. They're not overlapping, and they have a common vertex. These two angles share this vertex, right? If I call this A, vertex A is a part of angle 1, vertex A is a part of angle 2, okay? A common vertex. In addition, they have exactly one common side. Here is the side. This side here is angle 2. This side here is also angle 1. They share a vertex and a side. If we look at this, here's the one side that they share. Here's the vertex that they share. Okay? That means adjacent angles. Here's a special pair of adjacent angles. A linear pair, this is important, a linear pair is a pair of angles that form a line. Okay, they're adjacent, so angle 1 and angle 2. They form, here's the line that they form. Here's their shared vertex and their shared side. Okay. Linear pairs. And linear pairs are supplementary. So if I have a linear pair, I say linear pairs are supplementary. Or you can say linear pairs are supplementary. This would be what you would use when you're explaining. If I have two adjacent angles that form a line, they add up to 180, they are supplementary. Linear pairs are supplementary. Okay? So we have adjacent angles, and the only reason we do adjacent is so you really see what linear pairs are. A linear pair are two adjacent angles that form a line. So let's look at this problem here. You're given line AC. Okay? Typically you won't be given this, you'll just see that it is a line. It'll be easy to see. You see that the measure of angle DBC is 5x. The measure of angle ABD, so here's DBC. The measure of angle ABD, so this whole angle here, is 11x plus 4. So as we see, this blue and this green are a linear pair. They are a linear pair, okay? Don't worry about anything in here. We're only talking about this angle here and this angle here. Those two angles together form a line, so that makes them a linear pair. So I have 5x plus 11x plus 4 is 180. The reason being linear pairs are supplementary. That's my reason. We always have to explain. So 16x is 176. X is 11. Are they asking for X? No, they're asking for DBC. DBC is 5 times 11, 55 degrees. So the measure of angle DBC is 55 degrees. Okay. Always make sure you check to see what is the question asking. It's not always just asking yourself for X. It may ask for an angle or segment measure. Always look what the question is asking. Okay? Linear pairs are supplementary. Two angles form a line, they add up to 180 degrees. Our next angle pair, we touched on this before in the previous thing, are vertical angles. All right? Vertical angles are formed by two intersecting lines. So I have two lines that intersect. Okay? They share a common vertex, but not a common side. So here's the vertex. 1 and 3 are vertical. See how they share a vertex, but 1 and 3 do not share any sides? Now, these are congruent because all vertical angles are congruent. All vertical angles are congruent. And this is our shorthand, vertical angles are congruent. Okay. The other pair of vertical angles here, 2 and 4. They share a vertex, but do not share a common side. Some people like to think of them as opposite angles. If that helps you, opposite angles, they are called vertical angles, and they are always congruent. Vertical angles are always congruent. Let's apply it. Let's look at x. So if I'm looking at this problem here, I have multiple ways to set up. I can do here and here, or a linear pair, but that's an x and a y. I don't want to deal with an x and a y if I don't have to. I want everything in one variable. I have another set of linear pairs. I could solve like that and do a system, but why make it difficult on myself? Let's look at this angle and this angle. They are the same because vertical angles are congruent. So I have 12x minus 7 is 10x plus 3. Now that's just 3. So I have 2x is 10, x is 5. Now let's find y. Well, if x is 5, that's 53. Correct? Yep, you can check it in here too. 60 minus 7 is 53. Well, 6y plus 7 plus 53 is 180 because I have here and here. I have linear pairs. Linear pairs are supplementary. Okay, linear pairs are supplementary. So you want to give the reason what allowed you to set up this equation. Just like this vertical angle is congruent, set up this. Linear pairs are supplementary, set up this. 6y equals, this is 60. Bring it over, 120. Y equals 20. We can check it out. 6 times 20 plus 7 is 127 degrees. 127 and 53 give me 180. Hey guys, so in review, we have vertical angles are congruent, and we have linear pairs are supplementary. There are two new reasons we have, explanations we have in geometry to set up algebraic equations. I want you guys to work on 1, 2, 3, 4 problems, okay? Work on those 4 problems. They're in your notes. Put them in, and then we'll go over them next class.